Today, I will give you a tutorial on one of the most important software on mathematics, that is Windows Mathematics created by Microsoft. So here we are having this Windows Mathematics software. So it was created. It is available on Windows.com, both 64-bit as well as 32-bit. So whatever your computer will do. So here it is Microsoft Mathematics. I have the 64-bit and it's just works the same way as the others do. So it is 2000 built in 2010, and most of our lectures will include this. So here is the screen of Windows Mathematics. So first of all, starting from the basics, it's gonna be a 10 minutes video, so not a waste of time. Here we have file, and here we have new, open, save as, export to, print, and extra, all those things that are available as per the Windows Office and everything. Here we have home. Here you can change the domain in which you are working. So in real numbers, we cannot have iota or under root -1. In complex numbers, you may have the same. And the main part here is that in real numbers, when you have angles, you can measure them in three systems, like degrees, radians, and gradients. Like I changed it to degrees, then radians. And in complex numbers, it's important that we maintain it in radians, because degrees and gradients are not a part of the complex system of domain of complex system of numbers. Also, we have decimals. So whatever you do, like you put a calculation, it will allow up to 9 digits of decimal. So I put it on non-face so that we do not have it. Also, if you have a writing pad, you can use a if you have a writing pad, you can also use ink. So you can write it here, like I have it, but it does not work. Like it does, as we're topic, actually it stopped working, so I needed to get it again. So here we have ink and then keyboard. So keyboard, I will be using keyboard so because it works. And here we have 4 options, like it's basic mathematics. We have here the equation solver. So you put an equation, like I put it like x divided by 5 equal to 2. So when I click solve, it comes out x equal to 10. So whatever you do here, this is called the worksheet area. Whatever you take this 4 option, write it here, whatever you do, we have the input here, so we get x equal to 10. Then as we can see there, if we go closely to this here, like we have 3 options, like solve for x, plot both sides of the expression 2D, or plot this equation 2D. So it happens like, also we have an option of solution steps. So like the equation now in standard form, like 1 by 5 into x equal to 2, and then it solves just like a class 3 mathematics student will solve, but we will not do that. So solution steps are not very important except the cases in which we need to see the solution steps. And now next is the formulas and equations. So you have some inbuilt formulas and equations in this. First of all is the algebra. You'll see what we have here. We have the quadratic formula as for the solving quadratic equations. Then we have the slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus c, or y is equal to mx plus b. Then we have the slope form, y, like we have 2 points, y1, y1, having a slope y, so the equation comes out to be this. And similarly the slope, which you will prove one day using that, in one of my lectures I'll prove it. They're using 2 points in the 2D plane, the midpoint formula, and also the distance formula, equation of a circle having center at h comma k and radius r, a sphere having a center at h comma j comma k and having radius r, an ellipse x minus h, a parabola having its vertex at h comma k, whether it's an upward or downward parabola, and a hyperbola having its minor and acid. Also including this, we have geometry, like Pythagoras theorem, as you all know, which I would be using to prove some of the geometry. Perimeter of a triangle, all this we know. This is the Heron's formula, as we can see the area of triangle, which is also a part of my lecture on properties of triangles. On property of triangle, we will be proving a lot of new things. Now if we go to trigonometry, we have sin A equal to ASC, which will be also a part of my lecture on The law of cosines on properties of triangle, law of sines on properties of triangle, and these are the formulas. So you can directly use them, which I would not be using because I will be directly providing them in the worksheet. Also, if I see we have physics are not very important. One or two lectures I will be using. The law of exponents is quite useful, and we may know them because we learned them in 6th or 7th class. Also, we have some property logarithm, and I would explain them in my lecture of logarithm. And we have constants like the pi, e, g, capital G, the gravitational constant or the Cavendish constant, g, the acceleration of Earth's gravity or the gravitational field intensity, speed of light, Avogadro constant, gas constant, Boltzmann constant, everything related to that. So we have this constant. Then there is a triangle solver. The triangle solver is like you put all those sides and angles and it will solve the triangle for you and the stuff like that, right? So we have these main things here. So now we come to the main workspace, and in the workspace we have worksheet and the worksheet area and the graphing area. Okay, the graphing area will come, it's more important for us because we would be more of solving in the Windows journal rather than using Windows OneNote rather than using solving worksheets. Worksheet we only use if we need to solve complex problems. Like I had, let me show you one complex problems. Like we have, I have solve e raised to the power x equal to x, and I can tell you that these will be this will have a complex solution as I know it. So I put on the enter, and so we don't have like I have to use the equation solver then because I need to all do all those things. And here we see the answer is like 0.3181 and 315052408, 1.3375 iota. You can see, like you can see that there is an iota, like it's a complex number of the form a plus iota b. So we can solve these things. Now if we come to the graphing area, we have 2D and Cartesian. Like there we can plot it 2D also, we can plot it 3D also. Then we have the polar coordinates in 2D. If we come to 3D, we have three types: the Cartesian, spherical, and the cylindrical, which would be seeing. Most important would be for us would be 2D, because that would be like I want to plot. Let's see, we plot the graph of y equal to x plus 5, right? That's the form of y is equal to mx plus c. That's a straight line. So we plot it, and let's see what happens. And then we have to click the graph up, like graph, and it'll come like this. So that's the main part. It will come like this. Then you can just click on it, scroll, you'll find it like this. Actually it's touching at x equal to 5, so it's quite low. Now we have, now let's go what happens after we plot the graph. After plot the graph, we have the graph controls, like it's trace. You can trace it wherever you want. Like I put it on 0, like around 0, and we get the values. So whenever like we need to solve a limit, like I plot the function, I clear the screen and I plot the function like we always, in if we are in 11th, like if some of our subscribers are in 11th, you may know this equation, like x square minus 4, like x square minus 4 and divided by, wait, not very good at typing, but because one of my hands got fracture, so okay, what happened to it? Like we have, okay, so it happens, no problem. Like we have this graph, right? And I know that this does not exist x equal to, so let's see what happens. Now if we go to x equal to 2, which would be very minute, I cannot go too deep because it's a limit. So we see that this limit approaches to 2, right? This to 2. So as we have solved in 11th classes, this limit approaches to 2, right? So this is one of the main things we have in this Microsoft. Now as we are moving on, like we have also insert, like if I go to worksheet and I have insert option, like I can insert a matrix 2 of number of rows or column, like I insert about 2 and 2 rows and 2 columns. So I can put the value, like I put 3, then I put 3, then I put 4, then I put 5 and stuff like that, and I put enter, then it comes over here. So the worksheet is main. So now also when you plotted a graph, you have this. So what is this is about, they have tried to use it as a data set. The normally functioning of Windows mathematics works on the concept of data sets, right? So they plot it using data sets, and here we have the data sets. Also there's a view, whatever, like you have a calculator here. It's not more like a calculator, it's like some of these, like LCM, normal factors, I would be using that when I do not know the codes like things. So we have sketch, like it changes all those patterns whatever you like. I put it on black, this changes to black, but I prefer it blue. I will show you silver, and it changes like that. So this is one of the basics. Also store variables are there, like when we like to store variables, like we do it normally in programming C++, we like to do it, so that way we would be using it. So that's it for this small tutorial on first tutorial on Microsoft Mathematics, and we will be using it. So the main things which we need to learn after this tutorial is how to use the worksheet and the graphing type, and most importantly the graphing types. If we look furthermore, like I have taught you about the equation and functions, you may use data sets, parametric, inequalities, and the graph controls as your own wish, and different options in the format tool, and using the calculator pad. That would be like a homework for you, but as soon as we start our lectures, that will teach you on our own. So that's all for today, guys. Have a nice day and happy mathematics.